Welcome to the channel today. I'm Jesse. This is Krawler Kingdom. If you're new to the channel, I have a couple Jeeps, one of which is a 2012 JKU Rubicon, which I pretty much swapped everything out that makes it a Rubicon other than the transfer case and upgraded it to 1-ton stuff. But here's what's been happening. The last couple trips I was out, I've been getting basically an error that's for a steering wheel sensor. And I thought it could have been a wheel speed sensor, but I checked mine are good. Anyways, it's not the wheel speed sensors, I don't think. So it's time to go ahead and pull out the clock spring, order a new one. Hopefully that solves the problem. Otherwise, I just bought a new clock spring to end up back on the shelf. I unplugged this battery probably 2 hours ago and put the leather glove in between it. Now, any kind of capacitive energy that's stored through any of this stuff should be discharged by then. I just don't want the airbag freaking out when I disconnect it and punching me in the face. So just so you're aware, give it some time to go ahead and make sure that it's fully drained. And then let's go in here and get a proper part number on this. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and pull this out of the way. Come on, baby. It's got little clips. And then the airbag itself has got these two bolts here. This clock spring has been replaced. So the 2012 and up, which this is a 2012 and up, had an extended warranty that was on these that covered it for something like 6 years or something like that. Obviously, we're now past that. And this has been replaced for maybe 3 years. So it wouldn't be the worst thing if it went bad. Obviously, with all this dust, it doesn't help electronics and stuff in there. But let's go ahead and get this undone and start going to town here. And these are just a 10 mil. There's one on the opposite side just like this. And then I lowered the steering wheel down just to go ahead and get at it. But a little 10 mil, two bolts just like this. They go on either side. And then this airbag, I gotta record right now because if it goes off, man, that'll be hilarious for somebody else to watch. And then there's your connectors. So you have this gray one, and then you have your two yellows, which are your airbag, and the one that's lower on your steering wheel, it has the black with the yellow. So the back squeezing down on that did absolutely nothing. All there is this little tab right here, and you just got to wiggle and pull. There's nothing that you push or do anything on here that helps you get this apart. A squeeze. Come on, one hand under. Oh, there we go, and pull. So just on the side here, squeeze these babies in and slide it on out. Should be the same for this lower one, which it is. There you go. There's your, there is your airbag right there for your Jeep. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen up this major bolt right here in the middle. I'm gonna leave it loose. People use pullers on these and they don't seem to work well, so I'm just gonna use man strength. Good old-fashioned man strength. Loosen it up, give it some wiggles, which should go ahead and pull it loose and take this entire wheel off, leaving this part with a clock spring showing in it. This center steering wheel bolt happens to be a 13 mil, just so that's there. And I tried to hold the steering wheel and turn it, didn't work. I have big enough tires on mine, so that way all I did was just turn it. The steering wheel turned some as I undid this, but this will come loose. Let me hop in the steering wheel seat and then see if I can wiggle this back and forth to pop it out. Okay, how embarrassing. I read online that, yeah, they just wiggled it and it came right off, and I'm out of breath. I've been pulling on this puppy for like 3 whole seconds. But I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. There's a white connector in here. I'm going to disconnect it in case it starts going like flying towards me because I pulled too stupidly and hard. That looks like it's mostly like the steering wheel control. So let me show you what that looks like. So here's the white connector that's up top. That clock's dead center. And this is actually your clock spring. Look how floppy that is. That's probably the problem. So just probably on the bottom and slide out. Boom. No big deal. Pull that out. And now that I have this thing loose, I'll do a little bit more wiggling, but I don't know that that's supposed to be so rambunctious. Literally 2 seconds afterwards, I just pulled hard, and this came out. I'm more fat than I am like strong, so don't think it's like big guy strength. Most people could go ahead and take care of that. And then out comes the steering wheel. And like noted in some other videos, there is let's see if I can get it focused. A dot right here, right, in the steering wheel that lines up with the dot right here. We have a bolt right here. One, where's that? Right here. And then a little one right here in the back. Let's see if I can get some light under here. So they're all Torx that go into there. But I guess these two ones that are out front, back this camera out, these two ones that are right here out front are deep up into here. So you kind of have to have a long Torx bit, which I have the big Torx screwdriver. So that's what the bolt looks like. Kind of a long coarse threaded. Why does this camera have it right down the middle? Anyways, long coarse threaded bolt. Okay, same kind of long skinny screw. The third bolt's this little one, still a T20 on here, but definitely not like the other two. That's just lower in the middle. Top part. I'm doing this all live. Might come apart. I don't know what they're saying you're gonna crack. Somebody online was like, you're gonna break something. I don't know what they're talking about. All right, I couldn't record it. I needed 2 hands. Basically, I lifted up in the back here, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Same thing on this. And then that's all the attachment looks like. Where I wheel, there's a lot of good dirt and sand. Sand hollow, it's called sand hollow because there's sand. And then Moab's pretty dusty and dirty. Utah can be wet, but is often, here, let me drop this handle, quite dry, at least in the summer months where you're wheeling. Let's see what it takes to get this. I think somebody was like, you gotta wiggle it over this. All right, I did need 2 hands, but I lifted this side up so I can push it all the way over and just get it around the key. And then I don't need to move that out of the way other than just to hop out, but there is this to allow you to pull it on out. See if I can get a nice clear look. So that's 68339-336AB. And that was the warranted part that they swapped out. The dealership will charge you a good amount of money to do that. So I'm going to order that part, but you just need to undo this Torx. I think this one, yep. This is the one right here. There's 2 that have something that wraps around it that are in closer, but it's actually the little outer one. That little guy on the outside right there. So leave those 2 middle ones alone that got the star with the circle and get those outers right there and right there. I'm gonna go ahead and just order a part first before I go that far. And then I'll finish this video with the new part like that. The replacement part has arrived. And you know what's funny? Actually, YouTube tells me that no ladies watch my videos, which might actually be accurate. So this one's for the fellas. Here is the part number that I chose to go with. I went with a crown instead of going with the standard one. So this is the part number for the crown versus the part number for the stock. These ones I can get from a dealership for about $300. And I think I paid $150 plus tax on this. So we'll see. I'll test this first. You can ask me in the comments if you end up doing this when you see this, if it's still working or if it sucked. So yeah, Let's get this puppy removed, slap this new one in there, and see if this is the fix. These are actually not tight at all. So as far as like just barely snug is kind of what I felt on this. These ones in the back though, I'm gonna have to hit them with like a wrench or a smaller one, because this long handled bit here is a little too long to get those ones. I have removed those 3 bolts. These ones in the back, man, were super hard to get to, so I just used a short wobble on that. I'm probably going to just tighten this by hand when I do that. Oh, look at that. There's a little electronic clip right here that has to come off. It seems to be holding this up a scotch. And then I'm certain this one, which I have to get. Oop, 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 rotate. Same thing. So just a little squeeze and pull. Does it come off clean? Or is there another one? Oh, there's 2 more down at the bottom. And the little squeeze tabs at the very bottom. Your purple blottity blah blah is in the middle. And then your green ones on the outside, they don't appear that you can put them in the wrong place. And then out comes Mr. Clock Spring, which is the bane of almost every JKU owner's life right here. Looks like I just have to undo a Phillips head on either side and then maybe slide these off. So let me take out that Phillips head and then we'll go from there. All right, I immediately put the camera down and started looking, and it seems like the easiest thing to do is not undo those. Just slide your headlights and stuff, which is on the driver's side, just slide that off and out, and that'll loosen up all your cordage for you to go ahead and now slide out the passenger side, which is your windshield wipers and stuff on there. Now they're freeing out. We are back together with the new one. So in this case, you put on the smaller of the 2. You see how this one with my hand on it, it's not quite as thick as the other one. Put on the small one first. Then you can get the wires to sink in and slip on the big one. Just like when you take it off, take the big side off first, then the small. And then the 2 screws. We'll go ahead and plug these in to where they went. Man, I'm trying to do this with one hand. All because I'm trying to be cool online. Click. Okay, click. So I can put that one in right now. And just as a heads up, don't set your stuff here. Yes, it's dusty. I came back from a wheeling trip. And not that I'd clean it up if I didn't. But I knocked these into the vent. Luckily, they didn't fall through, and I had a little magnetic wand. So don't trust that as your workbench. I'll install these other 2 up here real quick, and then this should be ready to go ahead and start putting some wheel pieces and plastic back around it and such. We are in. This one down here is the only one that's kind of a pain because your hands are, at least my hands are a bit thick, and I don't even have big hands, dude. You guys are gonna struggle. This one wasn't a big deal. That was right here. So that slipped on there. Gotta have this kind of up here. Guard those wires. This is, oh, there we go. Just slid in. This is because I have no formal training. So if you're watching this, you're getting what you're paying for right now, which is nothing. Slide that little top thingy back up in there. We'll go together. There we go. Squeeze that and that. And now we're ready for our bolts to go back up in here. Again, those ones that go up through these little spots are these long ones. And then that little silver one's the third. And that'll have this back together. So we are back together. There was no problem with that. That was lickety split. Gosh, I got to clean this thing up. I'll clean up the whole Jeep once I get it all fixed up. So that's in there. Oh, dude, I forgot. Oh my gosh. Never get to do anything once. That's kind of my rule. I just realized that there's a gray plug in the back corner underneath this that I didn't plug back in. I apologize. It is not gray. It is black. It is this one that was in the corner that I took out. that I never put back. So let's get that one in there. And then there's those two white ones at the bottom. I don't know how I just remembered that. And then this guy at the top. I'm glad I did before I put the steering wheel back on. All right, back for the plastics. You don't need to wash that again. We are now back together like that blunder never happened. Hopefully I didn't forget anything else. See if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Okay. So we now have it lined up with dot on dot. And it's like a quarter turn. So you see those like big slides. It should be a little hard to mess it up. But I'll go ahead and wiggle this puppy on. And then I'm not sure of the torque spec for the steering bolt, to be honest with you. So I'll probably do a little Google and see if they give me anything. Well, I'm about to put the steering wheel bolt back in, and it looks like there's some white on there. I don't know if that's a sealant or just some weird, it's got to be. So I'm going to throw a little bit of blue, and what I found was two torque specs. One was 37, one was 40. So we'll go with like 39. We got a little blue on that. By little, a good amount of blue on that. Hopefully that's not a bad idea. Okay. Yeah, we'll call that. That is not at 39, but that is tight as can be. So the next step really is just to plug the airbag in and secure it on here with those two 10mm bolts that go right in those holes. And then we should be done. Witness marks in. Time to go ahead and install this. And then it does have a black and a yellow. And they do have different, see. So you can't plug in the wrong one to the wrong thing. Almost forgot. Time to take this boy off. Hopefully that came all out. All I did was squeeze and pull. It's kind of a weird way to do that. Like my steering wheel's not necessarily aligned. I gotta fix it because after post everything, but plug this thing into it. Exactly how I would love that to go, but I guess that's how it's intended. So that white one's plugged back in. Let's get these three in and then we'll bolt it in. So this is me in the future after having test drove, ended the video, and coming to the realization that I don't get to do anything just once. And I'm here to fix this. You see how this is canted off on that? It's because they're supposed to be, where's it at? Okay, here. This little plunger is supposed to stick up through this slot right there. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I did that right after I already driven it around. So I was able to go ahead and break this down and get back to this point. I have to pull the steering wheel again, rotate this, then sink it in again. But, you know, that's all part of the game. So let's go ahead and get this done and let's find out how long it took me. There we go. That only took me a couple minutes. And so you can see the pin sticking through here to help as you rotate it. Now the top turns with it easily. So it's just a matter of making sure you align that. So don't make the mistake that I did and mess that up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sunk back in on here. Throw a little bit more of that there blue on it. Get it inserted, and here we go. Got the witness mark right again. That took about 9 minutes, 10 minutes to go and get this done. So let's go ahead and get the airbag click back in, and then we'll start back with your regular programmed video. A little snug. All right, last part. Let's see if it shoots off into my Jeep. Doubt it will. Tighten the old ground up. Power's on. Where did I put the key? Oh, right here. Let's start it. There you have it. That's me installing the clock spring. I actually went and cleared the code. I have one of the blue driver things I've had for years. Used it, cleared it out, went and took it for a test drive. No lights came on, ran the codes when I came back. I got it up to about 50, 52, something like that. And when I was down at Winter Jamboree, as soon as I pulled out of the parking lot, because it would go off, the little squiggly line car thing would go on, would be off when I'd start it, and when I drive to like a stop sign, it'd be on before I even got to 35 miles an hour. So the fact that I went up to 50 miles an hour multiple times and the light's not back on, I'm calling that fixed. So yeah, I have some spare wheel speed sensors that I bought before that I can put on all four corners, but they're not the problem right now. So I'm stoked to have spares on that. Again, comment me if you want to find out how it's going a ways later when you see it. But from every intents and purposes, it's fixed. And I hear the Crown works about just as good as the go ahead and get the Mopar one. So there you have it. Hope this helps you guys at least know what you're getting into. And definitely, if you enjoyed it and you're this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, definitely leave a comment. And I look forward to hearing from you guys.